we're going to go over the first page of your practice. If you didn't understand for the first day that we're doing this, that you needed to do the front and back, the full page, Monday through Friday, that's fine. Just go through it with us as I'm going over the problems. And then tomorrow, know that when you come in the morning, you're going to sit down. You're going to start on number 2, operations and algebraic thinking. You're going to do Monday through Friday. There's only a few problems for each day, so I want you to get some practice with it. If after a few days we realize we just do not have enough time to finish both front and back, then we might slow it down a little bit. But I think once you get into the practice of it, your math mind will get going and you will just take off. You'll be totally fine. All right. One thing I want to show you before we correct is the very last page. So there's one for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday is journal. But if you finish early, then I want you to be looking at it, really be thinking about it, because the journal should be good complete sentences, a picture in here, like this says how do arrays represent multiplication. So draw an array in there and then really think about it. What does that mean? Use your good thinking and good sentences to figure that out. And there's one on the back also. How does repeated addition represent multiplication? Draw a picture of repeated addition and then think about it. All right? Your goal is not to get done the fastest. It's to learn something out of it. So let's go through these. I'm going to go through them fairly quickly. And then we'll just kind of adjust from there. If they're too quickly and we're not catching on, then I'll have to go through them slower. But if we are, then we'll just keep going quickly. All right? So I'm going to show it to you like this because I'm going to teach you something that I want you to do. But I'm going to go through it kind of quickly. Once I say it, I'm just going to go through them. So don't get frustrated if you're thinking, she's going so fast. You can always pause the video, and it's day 1. I'm not expecting that you have it. I'm just expecting we're going over it, over it until you take off on your own. Just like riding the bike, okay? You kept trying. Somebody held the bike, you fell. Somebody held the bike, you fell. And then one day you just took off. You figured out the balance and you took off. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so we're going to look at the word problems. One of the things I want you to do, I'll make you a poster of this, but and you'll see once you see the poster. First thing, when you read the problem, I want you to circle all the numbers. Okay, so it says this month I saved 3 times as much money as last month. Last month I saved $9. How much did I save this month? What numbers are you going to circle? 3 and 9. So circle them. Okay, next thing you do is underline the question. I'll show you it done in just a minute. What's the question? How much did I save this month? Underline it. Okay, then you're going to box in any words that give us, that are keywords, that are clues that tell us. Are we adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, all of them? What are we doing? 3 times as much. So you're going to box that in, make a box around that. Okay, so I'm going to show you what that looks like. Just like this. I circled the numbers. I underlined the question. You have to see my thumb again. Well, not again. That's your first time. But I already made a video for you that you had to see my thumb. I had to wipe that off. I don't know what the deal is. Okay? I circled the numbers. I underlined the question. Then I boxed it in. Times as much. That tells me I'm going to multiply. So the equation you should have written down is 3 times 9. If you wrote 9 times 3, are you wrong? No, you're right. Both of them are correct. And 9 times 3, or 3 times 9, is 27. That's how much money I saved this month. All right? Look at number 2. And I want you to do it as I'm reading it. Okay? You're going to circle the numbers to start with. Last week I collected 14 empty cans. This week I collected 5 times as many. How many cans did I collect this week? So circle the numbers. Should have circled 5 and 14. Underline the question. Say the question out loud. how many cans did I collect this week? And then box in any keywords you see. I almost gave it away to you before you could do it on your own. Okay? Times as many. When I see that, that means we're going to multiply. So even after you box it in, put the symbol up there. Okay? Times as many. And then write it out. 5 times 14. Now, look how I solved it. I'm trying to cover up the other one, sorry. I said 5 times 14. Well, I don't know that yet, but I do know 5 times 10. 5 times 10 is 50. And I do know 5 times 4, that's 20. Add those together, your answer is 70. Good. All right, let's go. Then on Tuesday, the number 16 has 3 factor pairs. I know one pair is always going to have what in it? Number 1. 1 times 16 is 16 odd or even? Even, so it has 2, right? 2 times 8, and the other one is 4 times 4. Now, it says, is this a prime or composite? How do you know? Well, 16 is a composite number because it has 3 factors, right? And a prime number only has 2 factors. Pause this if you need to. You need to have a complete sentence for these. Okay? All right. Last one on that page. All right? I want you to pause the video for a second if you need to. I want you to read it, circle the numbers, underline the question, or you could just do it real quick while I'm saying it, and then box in the keywords. There's 2 set of keywords. Okay, here should look like this. Ooh, if I can make you see it. Okay, he made 8 sugar cookies, 3 times as many of the peanut butter cookies. So I know that I'm going to multiply 8 times 3. But the real question is, what is the total number of cookies he made? So it's 8 times 3 plus the 8 he already made. 8 times 3, that's my peanut butter cookies, and then 8 is the sugar. 3 times 8, or 8 times 3 is 24, plus 8, that equals 32. All right, go into the back. Now, the back, I don't have them all written down. I'm going to write as we go a little bit, because these ones are a little bit different. Okay, so we haven't done a lot of this, so I'm glad that it's asking you, and I want you to really think about them. Whenever they're saying, what's the rule? I always think, what are they doing? So I write in the numbers here. So this one has 1, 4, 9, 16. Well, how'd they get from 1 to 4? They either multiplied by 4 or they added 3. Okay, so let's try. 4 times 4, is that 9? No. Is 4 plus 3 9? No. So then I'm kind of stuck. Well, there's no way that they got from 4 to 9. By 4 to 9, they added 5. Okay, so then I could think, well, maybe it's plus 3 plus 5. How'd they get from 9 to 16? They added what? They added 7. Okay, so 3 to 5, that's 2. 5 to 7, that's 2. So I could have a really complex rule like the answer plus 2, or the rule plus 2. Here it was they added 3. Well, now the rule is plus 3 plus 2. Now the answer is 5. So the rule is plus 5 plus 2. Maybe it was something like that. Okay. Or I can look at what are they doing with these. What are they doing with these cubes? This cube, how many are there? There's just one row of 1. So it's 1 times 1. What do we have here? 2 rows with how many in them? 2. 2 times 2. How many rows? How many in each row? 3 times 3. How many rows? 4 rows with 4 in it. 4 times 4. That's my rule. They keep just going up. 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4. Okay? So if you wrote it right there, you don't have to rewrite it. Otherwise, write it on the line if you didn't write it yet. And then always restate the question and answer it completely. How did you figure out the rule? I figured out the rule, for me, I figured it out by talking through until nothing worked. Maybe for you, you say, I figured out the rule by copying my teacher, listening to my teacher, something like that. Okay? However you did it, I want a real answer there. All right, so let's look at this one. This one, they just give us a list of numbers. Whenever they do that, I want you to figure out the first two. What's the difference? The difference, how they got there, 6 minus 1 is 5. So it could be plus 5, or 1 to 6, they could have multiplied 1 times 6. Maybe it's times 6. I write notes all over it. So how did they get from 6 to 11? Did they add 5, or did they multiply 6 times 6? They added 5. Check the rule. Don't just stop there. Go on to the next one. Did they add 5 to 11? 11 plus 5 is 16. Yep. 16 plus 5 is 21. Yep. 21 plus 5 is 26. Okay, so the rule for the sequence is plus 5. And then, how did you figure out the rule? You can use the same sentence starter. I figured out the rule. How did you do it? For me, I figured it out by deciding what's the difference between the first two numbers, or how did they get from the first number to the second number. I figured it out by trying plus 5 and times 6 and realized it was plus 5. Okay, so right now, my guess is we're running out of time, and I know that once you get into math, everything is going to take a little bit of time. So if there's not time to do the sentence today, you're just fine. I just want you thinking about that always. How do you know something? How did you figure it out? All right, let's do the last one very quickly. Okay, go through. I want you to read it. You should have already read it. Monica has $100. While I'm reading, circle the numbers. Monica has $100. Shoes are $24 a pair at Sheila's shoe store. How many pairs can Monica buy? How much money would she have left? Underline the question. How many questions are there? 2. So it means you have to do 2 different things. We're going to box in any keywords. So start with the first question. How many pairs of shoes can Monica buy? Can Monica buy? That means we have to what? She has $100. Each pair is $24. Okay. She has this much. They are this much. Can she buy how many pairs? Okay. Those aren't great keywords, honestly, because how many often is not the operation we're going to do. But think of, she has $100 and each one is $24. So 24 for how many can she buy? What they're saying is she has $100. Write that down. Each one is 24, and that equals how many she can buy. What do we have to do? Is she buying 24 of them at $100? No. She's dividing. Okay? So that's what she needs to do. You can divide it. For me, I would think in my head, let's do some mental math. This is almost 25, like a quarter. So if it was $25, how many could she buy? 25, 50, 75, 100. How many could she buy? She could buy 4 of them. That equals 4 pairs. Okay, that would get her to 100. But each of those pairs is $1 less. So it didn't cost her 25, it only cost her 24. So she can buy the 4 pairs, but how many dollars is she going to have left? She's going to have $4 left. So she can buy 4 pairs of shoes, and then how many dollars is she going to have left? How much money would she have left? It's how much is your remainder? Or we could have done it if this was a different number that we couldn't do mentally like that. We'd have to say 100 divided by 24. Really your remainder, anything that was left, that would be how much she had left. Or you could say, oh, she has 4 pairs. I could do 24 times 4 over here. And then that number, don't copy this. I'll just write it down. That would have been 96. And then I'd have to subtract $100 minus $96. And that would have got me my $4 left. Okay? Solve the problem and explain how you arrived at your answer. Don't write it down at this point if you're still, if you haven't finished that. But I want you to think in your head, how do we do that? How did I figure that out? Okay. And then as the days go on, a week or two, we'll be really at this part where you can write that down.